Hey everyone and Happy New Year. I'm Dustin and this is Brutal Geek on Nom Talk Network. What a better way to start out the year than with new brews. We're going to start off with the Toppling Goliath, King Sue. Awesome can. Always going to love dinosaurs. Can't go wrong. It's pouring kind of a cloudy, dark yellowish color with a nice white foamy head, very pillowy. And the head retention is extremely good. That's not going anywhere. Really, really strong pineapple and citrus. Maybe a hint of grapefruit. A little bit of grain, like sweet grain in the background. Not much malt at all. This is a great tropical IPA smell. The head's thick, but it's got a really nice citrus flavor to it. It's definitely going to complement the beer. Starts off a little sweet with a bit of pineapple, maybe some orange, grapefruit. The flavors are pretty bold. They're very well pronounced. IPAs are described as juicy a lot of the time. This is juicy. This tastes like fruit juice beer in a good way. This is definitely a tropical IPA. And if you're into tropical IPAs or pineapple citrus flavors in your beers, I would absolutely encourage you to check this out. Already, this is impressive. Good job, Toppling Goliath. Like I said, I don't think you can go wrong with dinosaurs. Next up, we have the Humble Nord IPA from Mikkeller. Now, Mikkeller is not a brand I'm actually familiar with. They're based out of San Diego, and I have to say, first thing I've had the pleasure of trying from them. Pouring out a little hazy already. A murky orange sort of color. Not much head, not much carbonation. Not even a quarter finger of head. Very, very little head to this beer. Not too much lacing, but it's got a little bit of retention on the sides for lacing, so not going to get a lot of flavor on its head. Getting pineapple again, a little bit of lime almost, really juicy and tart. Interesting. Strange that it's going to be to say gooseberries come to mind. Maybe a little bit of coconut on the back end, but I'm getting a lot of almost chocolate stout type taste. A little bit of lychee. I really am getting that strong, almost chocolate though from this, which is a little surprising, but doesn't really detract from the beer. And I'm not a big chocolate stout person either, but it's working. This is about the definition of medium-bodied beer. A little juicy on the palate, moderate amount of carbonation, a lot of sediment in the bottom. A lot of sediment in the bottom, in fact. I will tell you right now, this does not taste like an IPA at all. There's a lot of tropical aromas and flavors. I gotta say, I didn't realize, I didn't expect both of these to taste so tropical. That's a decent beer, but if you're into kind of chocolate stouts and want to branch out to an IPA, this is an IPA that doesn't taste anything like an IPA and has some very, very dark, chocolatey, malty flavors to it. Now, if you're here watching beer videos, you're likely no stranger to Stone Brewing. They make a line called their Enjoy by IPA, which I believe I have already featured once on this show. However, each one is slightly different. The reason why it's the Enjoy by series is each one is meant to be enjoyed within a specific amount of time. Waited about as long as you could for this one. Of course, a little bit hazy, not too hazy. 12-ounce bottle versus a 16-ounce can. It's a deep, bright orange color with really heavy white head. Not too much lacing. It doesn't really leave much behind. It clings to itself. It's very sticky. Getting peach, pineapple, citrus, maybe grapefruit, maybe orange, can't tell. Getting some strawberry even. Now, a lot of these flavors don't actually come from the fruits being used in the brewing, though I've definitely featured a few of those in the show so far. But from the hops that are used. For instance, a lot of the pineapple mango flavors that came out of the Toppling Goliath, the King Sue, weren't from being used from actual fruit, but from the citra hops that are used, which give it that citrus taste. So, getting a lot of flavors in here, but I'm doubting that any of that fruit was actually used to brew. Flavor follows the nose. Peach, pineapple, grapefruit, some sweetness that may or may not be that strawberry I was talking about. I can't quite. The finish is kind of sweet and a little bit of bitterness in the back of the tongue. This is a big-bodied IPA. A lot of pineapple and peach flavors to it. Kind of pulpy orange. I can't say texture, but feel. Slightly big at 9.4%. Hides the alcohol taste a little too much. And once more, we have the Stone Enjoy By coming in at 9.4%. The Mikkeller Humble Nord at 7.7%. And while it's not listed on the can, I do believe Toppling Goliath's King Sue comes in at about 7.5. So all these guys are technically considered heavy hitters, with the Enjoy By definitely being the strongest of the bunch. And yet, probably has the least strong alcohol taste of the bunch. So it's pretty impressive, Stone. That's a really great addition to the Enjoy By series. I'm Dustin, and this has been Brew Talk Geek on Nom Talk Network. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And in the comments below, let me know if there's a specific brewery or a specific beer you'd like me to try and you'd like to see featured on the show. Until then, cheers.